So I'm going to assume that many of you have not heard of Great Moravia, or at least know very little about it. But here in Slovakia, it's fundamental to their state's historical development. So to sum it up briefly, it emerged in the 9th century after the Avar Khaganate collapsed, and from its home over in modern-day Czech Republic, it engulfed the Principality of Nitra, which made up a lot of modern-day Slovakia. Plus it was a powerful state on the eastern borders of the Frankish Empire, and for a large part prevented them from expanding any further out east. Plus they were the first Slavic state to convert to Christianity after Saint Cyril and Methodius came out here, and they laid the foundation of what would become the Cyrillic alphabet. But very little is known about Great Moravia. Well, comparatively very little is known about Moravia, so it is subject to a great deal of debate. Some people argue that it may not have been a state in the sense that we know it, but rather just a collection of tribes. Other people argue that it was a great empire, but the most interesting debate, I think, is that some people, or some historians, disagree that it was located here in Slovakia. In fact, they argue it could have been located further south, in Serbia or elsewhere. But to clarify, this is in my opinion, I'm just repeating what historians have said. Well, some historians have said, and to those confused as to why I need to add a clarification like that to a video around a state over 1,000 years old, you should know that Great Moravia was pretty much instrumental in creating Czechoslovakia. After all, those two nations, while the Czechs and the Slovaks were not united except for this state. They, for a large part, were either independent states like Bohemia, or lay under either Austrian or Hungarian control respectively. In fact, Great Moravia was mentioned in the constitution of Czechoslovakia and is still very important in Slovakia's national history. But anyway, one of the most important historians who argues that Moravia was not located in Slovakia is a man named Boba. Now, he uses old Frankish and Byzantine sources to argue his case, and I'm going to simplify them a great deal. But, for instance, using the Annals of Fulda, the old Frankish source, it says that the Franks had to move over the Danube to conquer the Moravians. So this implies that the Moravians weren't located on the Danube, but rather south of it. In fact, he argues it wasn't an independent state at all, but rather a sort of client state of Pannonia, what would become the Hungarians, essentially. And for this he points to the fact that Methodius, the saint, was consecrated as the bishopric of Pannonia, plus the Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII describes Moravia as being a client of the Hungarians in a way, and he sort of describes it as being located in modern-day Serbia. It should be said that a lot of historians have disputed these claims, but other historians have looked at these sources and came up with a new theory. This is a theory that there were in fact two Moravias, a Great Moravia in Czech Republic and Slovakia, and a Lesser Moravia down south in Serbia, but again a lot of historians have disputed these claims. So if any of you are looking for something to do, have a look at these arguments and tell me if you're convinced that Moravia is located in, or was located in Slovakia and Czech Republic.